Hey guys, it's me. This week I'm going to talk about bubbles. Um, so I guess the first thing I want to say is that you want to make sure you get good bubbles. Like, I got some from the dollar store. It's like a 3-pack with little bottles. Total garbage. Oh my god. Do not recommend. But then I found these at Target, and they're scented. So they're like almost syrupy in consistency, and the thicker the bubble mixture, the better your bubbles are gonna be. So then I like emptied out the dollar store bottles and filled them with this, because this is a pain to carry around versus one that's like this big. And then yeah. So I use these with a lot of my kids, but I'm gonna talk about three. First one is Jeffrey. And I know I talk about Jeffrey a lot, but there's not a lot of variety in my caseload. So I only have maybe 3 expressive language kids. 4. I have 4. And Jeffrey comes up a lot because he's really easy to work with, and he's one of my favorites. But with Jeffrey, for bubbles, I use it to elicit 2-word utterances in an anticipatory set, yes no questions, and like making a decision. So I'll ask him, if he wants bubbles, and he can say either yes or no, and then I usually prompt him to say like yes bubbles, no bubbles, to make it 2 words. And or I'll ask like, hey, do you want a story or bubbles? And he'll tell me which one he wants. And then when I go to blow the bubbles, I'll say ready, set, and I'll say go bubbles. At first we were working on just saying go, but now we're building on that so that he's got 2 words, like a 2-word utterance, so like go bubbles instead of just go. And then it's so cute when he does like a sea breeze really fast, like and like pops all the bubbles. It's so cute. I love this kid. And yeah, that's how I use it with Jeffrey. Another kid I use it with is Thomas, and I totally stole this idea from Jen. Thank you, Jen. Couple classes back, I don't even remember which class, she had bubbles for fluency. And like when you blow too fast with the bubbles, like it just kind of explodes and no bubbles come out. And if you go too slow, no bubbles come out. But if you go just right, you get lots of bubbles. And talking about that and comparing it to speech with a kid, so that they have a visual to compare it to. And so I use that with Thomas sometimes because he's my only fluency kid. So he comes up a lot too. And yeah. And so he really likes that, and it helps him with his easy onsets and not going too slow or too fast. And the third kid I use these with is Ronan. Ronan is 5, and he works on like pragmatics and reading emotions and such. With him, we're always doing like a game on the computer that it's like identifying emotions or like finding the right thing to do or say in a conversation. Like when your friend is talking to you, do you look in the other direction or do you make eye contact? And then he's gotta say like, oh, make eye contact. And it can get a little monotonous, a little boring. So with the bubbles, I just like to break it up a little bit to make it so that he's not just sitting there bored during our session. And it's not just emotions and conversations. He can have a little bit of fun. So the last thing we want is to make it boring so that he doesn't want to come, so he doesn't want to learn. And yeah. So that's how I use bubbles. I also use it with like my Arctic kids to just take a little break from drill or whatever we're doing and just let them chase it around, especially if they're high energy. I'll have them like chase the bubbles around for a bit to help them settle down a bit. But yeah, bubbles are your best friend, and they're fun. I love bubbles. But yeah,